So I've got this really interesting question from one of the students I've taught before, and it goes like this. A number has exactly 8 factors. 2 of the factors are 8 and 20. List all the factors of the number. So this came from the 2013 paper 1 question 7B of the O-level, Cambridge O-level mathematics paper. And what's interesting about this question for me to do a video is that, of course, it came out a lot of times during lessons with students, and a lot of students ask me this question. And what's so interesting about this is that the direct requirement of the question is for you to find the factors of the number, and they don't tell you the number, but eventually you will still have to find the number, because obviously for the factors of this number you start from 1 and end with the number itself, so eventually you still need to find that number plus 6 other factors of that number. Okay, so we're going to start. Now I've done a little bit of research on this problem, and it seems like they all point out towards doing this question using LCM concept of 8 and 20. Alright, so I'm going to take a slightly different approach, because I personally think that that could be intuitive to some, alright, and it might not be intuitive to others, alright. And since it's so available on the internet, I will do a slightly different approach. What I'm going to do is a bit of a systematic listing. So what I'm going to do is to list, so this is the listing of all possible factors of x. Factors of x. Alright, and I'm going to go like this. I'm going to draw a really simple table. Alright, and I'm going to call this the powers of 2. Alright, or maybe I would just simply write this in terms of 2 to the power of something, 5 to the power of something, and that might look a little bit more simple. And I'm going to exhaust and go through all the possible combinations and arrive at the factors. Okay, so what I'm going to be starting off from is 2 to the power 0 and 5 to the power 0. And if I were to multiply this two, alright, I'm going to create another column. This is 2 to the power of something times 5 to the power of something. This 2 to the power 0 multiplied by 5 to the power 0 is going to give me 2 to the power 0 times 5 to the power 0, which is just 1. So that's my first factor of 1. The next I'm going to go to is I'm going to maintain 5 to the power 0 first. Okay, I'm going to maintain this, and I'm going to raise the power of 2 to 1, and 2 to the power 1 times 5 to the power 0 is going to give me just 2. Okay, next I'm further going to raise the power of 2 to 2 and 5 to the power 0. 2 to the power 2 is just 4. 4 times 1 will give me just 4. Okay, so that's 4. And 2 to the power of 3 times 5 to the power 0 is going to give me 8. Okay, for those who can see a little bit faster, you realize that later I'm going to end up with a factor that is smaller than 8. But that's fine, we're going to rearrange that later on anyway. So just forgive me for a little bit of a line problem over here. It doesn't look very nice, but that's fine. Okay. And so I'm going to now raise 5 to 5 to the power 1, so that we eventually exhaust all the other possible combinations with 5 to the power 1. So then we start from 2 to the power 0 over again, and 2 to the power 0 is just 1. This is 5. Okay, so I have a smaller factor, 5, but like I said, it doesn't matter. 2 to the power 1 times 5 to the power 1 is going to give me 10. That's another 1. And 2 to the power 2 multiplied by 5 to the power of 1 is going to give me, this is 4. 4 times 5 is going to give me 20. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and where's the last one, that's going to come from 2 to the power of 3, all right, times 5 to the power of 1. And by now you can see that I've exhausted all the possible combinations of the factors, and this is going to give me 40. So clearly, since the largest number we have over here, the largest factor we have over here is actually 40, x is actually 40. Now I'm going to just rearrange this, and it becomes 1, 2, 4, 5, 8, 10, 20, and 40, and that is my answer.